What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Blazing Vortex strikes again. So we have even more cards for coming out of Blazing Vortex. But actually, what's interesting about this is that we have another. We have new support for Machinas, another Paladin of Blank Dragon. If you guys remember the Dragon Paladin series, you will know that we had Paladin of White Dragon, Dark Dragon, Photon Dragon. There were so many of them, and now we have one for the Armed Dragons. So Machina's Armed Dragon, Dream Mirror, Dual Avatar, Virtual World, and several others. And also there was one other piece of news I wanted to bring up. There were some other cards as well that I wanted to bring up, and all these are off of YG organization. You guys know, big shout outs to them. That's if it'll load. But anyway, hopefully you guys are having an amazing Friday. The weekend is upon us, and yeah, under the pandemic, hope you guys are having an amazing day. And also, the Prismatic Secret Rare has been revealed for Blazing Vortex, and also news on a brand new TCG set that is going to be a true shock to the system. So let's actually talk about the new cards here. So right now we have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 13 new cards to talk about in this video. And the first one is called Machina Unclasper. It's called Machina Unclasper. It is a 4-star dark attribute machine monster. With 1800 attack, 800 defense. Both of its effects are a once per turn. If this card is added to your hand, except by drawing it, you can special summon this card. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except machine monsters. Okay, again, Cyber Dragon. Or actually, no. This is, this more so has an effect similar to, hang on, let me, there. This effect actually is something similar to Blackwing Breeze the Zephyr, because if you guys remember Breeze the Zephyr, its effect is if you add it to your hand, except by drawing it, you can summon it to the field, and you can't summon any other monsters except Blackwings, which that's a pretty good card. That's a pretty good effect. So it's essentially a Breeze the Zephyr, but instead of it being a winged beast, it's basically a machine. If this card is normal or special summon, you can send one Machina monster from your deck to the grave except this card. So it's again so it's funny because you can actually use both of these effects simultaneously. So when you add it to your hand, you summon it, and when you special summon it, you get a Fool's Burial. This card is a Breeze the Zephyr and a Fool's Burial all in one card, which actually is a really good concept considering the fact that Machinas are more so revolving around recycling your cards and also bringing them back using their effects, which actually is really, really good. The only downside to it though is again that it can easily be ashed, which you have to have called by the grave for, even though it's now at 1. And the card has to go with the Machina, with the whole Machina archetype itself. So that's the only downside to it. But it's still a pretty cool card. Alright, next up we have Paladin of Armored Dragon, and I guess Armored Dragon Ritual, I believe, would be the name of the card, of the ritual spell. I was right. Armored Dragon Ritual. That's insane. That is insane. So Armored Dragon Ritual which is obviously a ritual. This card is used to ritual summon Paladin of Armored Dragon. You can only use this card's name second effect once per turn. Ritual summon one Paladin of Armored Dragon from your hand by attributing monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal 4 or more. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the grave, you can banish monsters from your hand or face a field whose total level equals 4 or more. Banish this card from your grave, and if you do, special summon one Paladin of Armored Dragon from your grave. Okay, so essentially you don't want to activate its first effect. You more so want to activate its second effect because you can activate Foolish Burial Goods, send this card to the graveyard, wait until your next turn, activate its second effect, and then go into Paladin of Armored Dragon, which is actually a really good thing because I'm looking at its effects, and it's literally the exact same as Dark Dragon, Photon Dragon, White Dragon. Literally, it's practically the same thing. So this one is actually and it's funny because if you guys remember the Waking the Dragons arc of the Duel Monsters anime, you will know that Joey called his ritual monster Knight of Dark Dragon. That's actually the Japanese name. The Japanese name is for this one is Knight of Armor Dragon, which is kind of crazy. Which is honestly I like that better, but it is what it is. This one is a 4-star Wind Dragon Ritual, 1900 attack, 1200 defense. You can ritual summon this card with Armored Dragon Ritual. You can only use this card's name's first and second effects once per turn each. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles a monster, special summon from the extra deck, you can shuffle that monster into the deck. Excuse me. Wow. So it's literally a not a Tsukiyomi, but I guess what's that one? It's like a compulsory it's like a compulsory evacuation device or something. No. Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. That's what basically what this card is. It's like a Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. That's what that effect is, which is really cool. You can tribute this card, special summon a level 5 or higher Wind Dragon monster from your hand or deck. So again, you would want to go for Armed Dragon or the other Armed Dragon monster. So honestly, seeing this is awesome. I love it. Not much to say about it, actually. Not much else to say, except that this card is nutty. And as far as whether or not it'll be meta, honestly, I could definitely see it becoming a meta, like a really good card. Hang on. I could definitely see it being a really broken card, but it all depends on how you use it, basically. Again, the only downside, Ash Blossom, and the card has to work with Armed Dragons, with the Armed Dragon archetype itself. So that's the only downside. Other than that, it's a pretty good card. It's a pretty good ritual monster. It's very rare. It's actually very rare that we ever see ritual monsters in today's meta. It is so rare. Alright, you guys, next up we have Dream Mirror Dream Telling, which is a new Dream Mirror card. This is actually one of their new continuous traps. Shuffle any Dream Mirror monsters you control that tributes itself to activate its own effect into the deck instead of sending it to the grave. So it's essentially like it's essentially like your Phoenix Wing Wind Blasting your own cards back into your deck. That's basically what it sounds like. During your main phase, you can send this face-up card to the grave, place face-up in your field zone one of your Dream Mirror of Joy or Terror that is banished or in your graveyard. Then you can special summon a monster from your hand that specifically lists the card you placed in its text. Okay, so obviously, if you go for a Dream Mirror of Joy, then you would need to summon the light monsters. Terror, you would go for the dark monsters. So with this effect, basically, It's a it's like a monster reincarnation, but for your field spells, which there aren't a whole lot of cards, that allow you to bring back your field spells. This card actually ensures that they get them back. Again, Dream Mirrors. It has to be with Dream Mirrors. Honestly though, I've never worked with Dream Mirrors before. I've always wanted to build them, but I don't know how they're built. So if you guys do know how, what the format should be for Dream Mirrors, definitely let me know in the comments, because I don't even know. Personally, because honestly, I don't know. I've never worked with Dream Mirrors before, so yeah. Alright, you guys, next up we have Virtual World Gate Wu is the name. Is the name of the card. And if you guys are wondering about this, Mountain Dew. Shoutouts to Mountain Dew. Not sponsored. Love Mountain Dew. Alright, you guys. Now that I got that out of the way, I believe this is their continuous trap card. Yep. So this is Virtual World Gate Wu. This is their continuous trap card. You can only activate one card per turn. You can only use the effects once per turn. So there are two effects. During the battle phase, if you control another Virtual World Gate card, you can target one face-up monster on the field, change its battle position. So it's essentially like a zero gravity. But obviously you have to have a cost. So the cost is actually is having another Virtual World Gate card on field. During your main phase, you can manage the card from your grave, then target one virtual world monster in your grave, special summon it, but its effects are negated, then send one other card from your hand to the grave. Okay, so in a way, this effect is kind of like Overdone Burial, because with Overdone Burial, you summon a monster from your grave, but you negate its effects. And then you can send a card from your hand to your graveyard. That which is actually Trippy Toll is not the cost. It is not the cost. The cost is actually banishing this card to your from your graveyard, which is banishing from your graveyard. That's the cost. Sending a card from your hand to the graveyard, that's mandatory. That's a mandatory effect. A lot of people don't know it, but it is a mandatory effect. So again, I don't know much about the whole virtual world archetype, the whole Virtual World Gate archetype. If you guys know anything about it, comments. Alright, next up here we have Dual Avatar Tourney. I believe this would be their other normal trap card. Yeah, so this is a normal trap card. Both of its effects are a once per turn. Target one dual avatar monster you control, destroy it. Okay. You're basically using the spell Offerings to the Doomed, basically. And if you do special summon from your deck or extra deck one dual avatar monster that is one original level or higher or lower than the target. Okay, so you're basically, it has an effect similar to Waking the Dragon, where you can summon a monster from your where you can summon a monster from your extra deck. That's just broken on its own. Broken on its own. Excuse me. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the grave, you can banish this card from your grave, then target one dual avatar monster in your grave, add it to your hand. Okay. So except the turn the card was sent to the grave, you can banish this card from your grave. So okay, I get it. So it's essentially it's kind of like malicious Destiny Hero malicious, where instead of summoning it, you're adding it to your hand. So it's a pretty cool card. Again, Ash Blossom. It's always the big X factor is being ashed. You always got to be careful. When using these cards, people. Next up, we have Ancient Warrior Saga: A Man's Honor. This is, I believe, What would this be? This would be their continuous trap card. You can only use this card's name first and third effects once per turn. If your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, you can special summon one Ancient Warrior's Dragoon token, Beast Warrior Wind, attribute 1 star, 500 attack and defense. Okay, so this is perfect for Link Cross. This is basically perfect for Link Cross, Link Haribo, Hakafai Brax is perfect for that. Perfect targets for those, Link Spider, whatnot. If an Ancient Warrior's monster would be destroyed by battle, you can send this card to the grave instead. Ooh. Okay, return again. Going back to Return of the Dragon Lords. That's what this card that effect does. When a card or effect is activated that targets an Ancient Warrior's monster or monsters on the field, you can banish this card from your grave and negate the activation. Ooh. Okay, so it's essentially like Galaxy Cyclone, where you can target. Or no. Magician Navigation. It's Magician Navigation. That's basically what that effect is. It's Magician Navigation, which is that is utterly stupid. Utterly stupid. Absolutely nuts. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Alright, you guys, we do have a few more cards to talk about in this video. So the first one here is Electromagnetic Railgun. I believe this is going with the whole Machine King storyline. Yeah, I believe so. Or rather, actually, it can work with pretty much any machine deck. It's a normal trap card. Should be one machine monster, then target up to one card of the field for every 1,000 original attack points the attributed monster had, and destroy him. Holy shit! Holy shit! Okay, so if you targeted, if you tributed, like say excuse me. Say a monster with 3,000, you could destroy 3 cards on your opponent's board. This card could easily break boards. This card could really do a lot of damage. That's just broke. Wow. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe how broken that card really is. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. I'm not saying, you know what? I ain't saying nothing more. I'm sold. That card, I'm sold. I'm sold because this card can also be used in Cyber Dragon decks. A lot of people don't realize it, but you can run it in Cyber Dragons because if you have say for example, you want to go for Cyber Infinity. You want to target your Cyber Infinity or something. You can tribute it. That's 2 cards on. That's 2 cards gone. 2 problematic cards gone. That's just broken on. That's just stupid crazy. All right. Next up we have Fluorescent What the hell? What in the hell? It's some sort of dragon. I can tell you that right now. It's some sort of dragon. Fluorescent. Oh, okay. I think I understand it now. It's fluorescence. Okay. It took me a second to figure that one out. It's fluorescent. It's fluorescence. Okay. It's a 4-star light dragon. 1600 attack, 800 defense. When this card is normal summon, while your opponent controls a monster, you can discard 1 card, send any number of this card from your deck to the grave. Once per turn, if this card is in the grave, you can make this card in the grave become dark until the end of the turn. Okay, so it's essentially like a Homunculus, the Alchemic Being, mixed in with a double Foolish Burial of sorts. So Um, I don't know. I don't know. That card is kind of odd because you really don't. I mean, nowadays. I mean, I know that. Nowadays I know that some people might not, might think, oh, that's, you know, that's, that's a good thing to send cards to your grave. But honestly, this card is just not that good. I honestly just don't. I really don't see anything good about this card. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah. Anyway, guys, next up we actually have a card that I am so looking forward to seeing get printed. It is called Archfiend Staff of Despair. Holy shit. Okay. Okay. So it is. So it's called. So it's an equipped spell. Equip only to a monster you control. You can only use this card's names, first and second effects per turn, once per turn each. During your main phase, you can make all face of monster your opponent currently controls lose attack equal to half the equipped monsters until the end of the turn. Holy shit. Okay, so if you were to equip this card to something like, say, Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, you can literally all of your opponent's monsters would lose 1,500. That's actually broken. That's pretty good. If this card is sent to the grave while equipped to a monster, you can pay 1,000 points, add this card to your hand. So it's essentially kind of like similar to Acts of Despair, but the only problem is that you have to pay life points, and that's something that a lot of people don't want to do. Personally, I mean, I love the artwork, but I prefer Acts of Despair. Tributing off your monsters is a lot better than just paying the points. So yeah. All right, you guys. Next up, we have a pendulum monster, which is kind of a rare one. How much time we have? We don't have a whole lot of time. Okay, so we have Daikaminari Gyclops. It's a 4-star wind thunder pendulum tuner, 1,400 attack, 1,700 defense. Pendulum effect. Once per turn, you can target a pendulum monster you control, and one monster your opponent controls. Change their battle positions. Okay, so it's basically zero gravity, basically. If this card is special summon from the extra deck, if this card special summon from the extra deck is used for a synchro summon, banish it. Plain and simple. You can only use the second and third effects once per turn each. If this card is normal summon, you can change this card's battle position. Again, it's basically it's a zero gravity basically, which is pretty broken. If this card's battle position changes, you can target one face-up spell or trap on the field and destroy it. MST, pretty good. If this card in the pendulum zone is destroyed, you can return one card in the pendulum zone to the hand. So it's essentially a compulsory evacuation device of sorts. So it's several different cards in one pendulum. That's just broken on its own. Honestly, I think that's just like really, really good. Again, I'm not a big fan of pendulums, but who knows? Maybe somebody might find use out of it. Alright, you guys, so the next card here is called Amanokujaki. I actually said that right. It's a 3-star light fiend tuner, 1,000 attack and defense. You cannot activate the effects of your other special summon monster with the same attribute as this card. So you would have to go from the effects of a light to a dark. Once per turn during this card's owner's main phase, as a quick effect, you can give control of this card to your opponent. Then you can change this card's attribute to any attribute until the end of the turn. Homunculus the Alchemic Being, it basically changes the attribute. It basically changes its own attributes, so to speak. So that is really good. How many more cards do we have? I think we only have like 2. Yeah. So we have 2 more cards here. So I'm going to try and speak on it really quickly, and then I might be able to get into the other thing I wanted to talk about. So next up we have a field spell. It's called Bluff Reach. It's a field spell. When you conduct your normal draw during your draw phase, you can reveal one of those drawn cards, place it on the bottom of the deck, and if you do, draw one card. It's essentially like a kind of like a weird version of Reload, basically. When you draw a card or cards by card effect, you can reveal one of those drawn cards, send this card to the grave, and if you do, place the reveal card on the bottom of the deck, and if you do that, draw one card. Again, it's basically another form of like reload where you're like giving yourself a bit of an edge, basically. Not saying much about it. With these draw cards, ass awesome is all I have to say. And the last card here is called Stationary 1 o'clock Linear Accelerator. Quite the mouthful. So I'm going to really quickly talk about it. Oh, that's a... Okay. So it's a normal trap card. It's a once per turn. During the battle phase, declare a number from 1 to 6. Choose one effect monster your opponent controls, and if the chosen monster's level... And the chosen monster's level, the declared number, plus the number of cards your opponent controls equal to the number of cards in your grave. Send cards from the top of your deck to the grave up to the number you declared. If you do, shuffle cards your opponent controls into the deck up to the number of cards sent to the grave by this effect. And if not, you lose life points equal to the declared number times 500. I'm not saying anything much about it because I kind of don't understand it, honestly. You know, because those types of cards I really don't understand, and it's not because I don't care to understand it. It's because of my autism. Just so you know. The last thing here that I'm just gonna really quickly talk about before I sign off is we're getting a brand new TCG set. It's called Ghosts from the Past. So this will be a 136 card all foil collector's set, which actually will have ghost rares. Actually, I'll be talking more about this later on, sometime in the next week or so. So be sure to stay tuned for that. I'll get more in depth with it. The only thing that I can tell you is that this set will feature 5 ghost rares and 131 ultra rares. That is absolutely stupid. So, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Question of the day: which archetype are you looking forward to the most in Blazing Vortex? Let me know in the comments below. And that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys love seeing these types of news videos for WWE and for Yu-Gi-Oh!, definitely hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. The links are down in the description below. And on that, this is your boy Nash signing out.